Hello, I'm back. So I want to take a moment to thank you for stopping by. I know you're busy, but my topic for today and probably for the next one, because it might take long, I don't want to hold you up for too long, is why do seemingly smart women pick the wrong men? Um, and I'm speaking on my personal experience in hopes that I might open your eyes so you don't make the same mistakes I did. Everyone has a story, and here is mine. So sit tight because you won't believe how stupid I was. This started 5 years ago, and backtrack, rewind to growing up. My parents were married for 65 years, so that was normal. I mean, that was nice. Not normal, sadly, in this day and age. But anyway, so I was married for 17 years. I didn't pick the right one for me. We had two beautiful children. Okay, fast forward to 5 years ago. So I was in a relationship with someone. I had been divorced, of course, and I was in a relationship with someone, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it, um, which is bad. Um, so I tended to not choose wisely when it came to male companions. So I was in this relationship trying to get out of it, and I got a message on Facebook from someone who I went to high school with claiming that I have no memory of this, so I don't even know if it's true, that they had tried to ask me out, and I was very kind to them. I left them with their dignity intact, and I quote. And I mean, I don't know, it made me seem like a real nice person, but I have no memory of it. In fact, this person I never associated with in high school. They were younger than me, whatever. Okay, so again, this is 5 years ago. So this person is separated from their wife and have a couple of kids, and they're a professional. And they reached out on Facebook, and I said, "Oh, you know what? You're very welcome. I'm glad I was able to do that." Blah 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 blah. So we started a friendship, and I kind of got the vibe that he's interested, and I don't want that. So I made it very clear that I was not interested in being in a relationship. So first thing, when you're vulnerable, you really can't think straight. So one of the things you should be aware of is that when you are vulnerable and someone swoops in and starts messing with your mind, it's kind of hard to be aware of it. But if you are aware of it, know that that is very dangerous because they're taking advantage of you and you don't even realize it. And like I said, it's hard to see when you're going through it. But I made it very clear to this person that I did not want to date. I had just gotten out of that relationship finally. Poof. And I was not interested. I wanted my time and me time, just me and the kids, and trying to find myself again. But he continued. And there were certain things after that other relationship, you have to keep up because sometimes I'm all over the place, but I won't be. Again, the reason I'm sharing my story and being so vulnerable is, again, if I can just help anyone not make the stupid mistakes, women, why do we do this? Why do we pick the wrong men? In my case, over and over and over again. So we started talking on a regular basis. He checked I had a situation with, and we Skyped. He did a little exam via Skype, and we just became friends. I thought friends. But in retrospect, I see now that he was very calculating. He had this planned, and he got to know me. And I tend to be an open book. I was in the past. I don't intend on doing that anymore. And he got to know me. So he used the things he knew about me to his benefit. He was manipulative as well. But he was completely different than my ex-husband. This person was, I believed he seemed very kind, very genuinely, and he was in my head. No. He led me to believe that he was a godly man. Women, if you are a Christian and you're looking for a godly man, be careful for wolves in sheep's clothing because they are out there. They are out there. They can recite the Bible. They can preach you a sermon. They're just, incredible. But watch out because it's not in their heart. And when you were like, let's say me, for example, of course, because we're talking about me, I was looking for someone who could lead me and my kids spiritually. I wanted a spiritual leader. This particular, individual had a very family history deep in a particular church. And I was like, well, that's really nice. So he must be okay. He's a godly man. We would pray together all the time and, just talk about things. And then he started sharing some stuff about himself. Ladies, this is when you have to listen. Sometimes a man will tell you things that you need to know, but for whatever reason, we're like, oh, no, I can fix that. Girl, no, you can't fix that. It is not our place to fix a man. Get that out of your head. If he has a drinking problem, don't think you're going to fix it. My situation was not that, but if he has a drug problem or any type of addiction, or they have a sad, like the previous one had a real sad childhood. So I'm thinking I'm going to make it better. Me and the kids, he's going to have a happy life. I'm going to make a nice home. There's going to be food. And stop it. I don't do that anymore. I'm not here to fix anyone but myself, in Jesus' name, just to fix myself. So going along with this, so he told me, and I'm going to share it with you because I'm not going to give any names. It's not important. That's not important. It's irrelevant. But when they tell you they have a particular addiction, be it to, like I said, drugs or alcohol or porn, listen to that. Listen to that, because I was like, oh, he's trusting me. He's telling me all of this. He's opening up. Oh, he's wonderful. We can talk. He's not like regular men. They don't talk. You know what? That was the other one. I should have understood that. And by this time I'm thinking, wow, he's kind of nice. Then he started making these promises of, because he got to know, again, I was an open book, and I let him know that I was interested in having something normal for my kids. I wanted my daughter to see how a man is supposed to treat a woman. I wanted my son to have positive, strong male role model, someone that will be nice to him. Oh, this hair. Just show him how to be a man, because if you don't teach your boys to be men, the world will teach them how not to be a man. Bear that in mind. I'm going to repeat it again because it's worth repeating. So, fathers, if you don't teach your sons how to be men, the world, society is going to teach them how not to be a man. But I digress. That's another topic for another show. So I had all these warning signs and little red flags, but I didn't see it because all I saw was what I chose to see. He was offering me a home for my kids, stability. He was offering me to help me get my business going. If I helped him first with his, then he would turn around and invest in mine, and I had my little cafe. Forward. I forgot to mention he was in another state and I was here in Chicago. So ladies, please don't ever pack up your life to go be with a man. I mean, maybe there's extenuating circumstances, or maybe but for the most part, don't do it. Like Steve Harvey says, you let the man come after you. I mean, and that's how it should be. So no, you know what I actually did? I did my research and I thought, you know what? Alabama, you know what? I've never been. I'm sick of the cold weather here. I'm sick of the cost of living in Chicago. I'm tired of everything I'm going through. My ex-husband was being like really crazy. I was terrified of him. I had so much going on. And here, this gentleman that I went to high school with, that I guess I really didn't know, was offering me everything he knew I wanted. So I packed up my family, me and my kids, left my family in Chicago, left everything in pursuit of happiness, because I felt he was my ticket and my kids' ticket to happiness. I thought, you know what? I'll be married and it'll be normal and it'll be nice. And I had all these ideas in my head, and he, was feeding them. So I moved cross country based on a lie. We were going to get married, get a house, get the businesses going. No. You know what happened? What really happened? I packed up. He didn't pay for anything for the move. I paid for everything. And ladies, I know this is the age of feminism. I get it. I'm appreciative of the feminists from the 60s, because yes, we deserve equal pay, and I'm all for that. But the feminism from nowadays, I'm not sure I'm down with that. It's okay for a woman to be a woman and a man to be a man. It's okay for a man to take you out to dinner and pay for your meal. It's okay. But anyway, that's another topic. So I 17-foot U-Haul with my car attached to the back, and I drove 10, probably 12 hours to Alabama. And let me tell you, he said he had a home waiting for us. Again, I moved based on a lie. But that was my fault as well, because I should have looked into it a little more. I should not have fallen for it. Don't be gullible, women. Women, first and foremost, be true to yourself. Know that you're not going to find your happiness in someone else. That's not going to happen. I found that he's the only one that is there for me and is going to get me where I need to be in my life. Here I was depending on this man to help me fulfill my dreams and make a life for me and my kids. That wasn't true. We get there, we had nowhere to stay. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I got my television stolen. It was just a nightmare. So I said, you know what? Screw that. I had an expectation and it was unmet. And again, if you have an expectation, verbalize it with the person you're dating. Make sure you communicate. I was told all these things. And then in my head, I had a picture of how it was going to be. And my expectations were not met. But I figured, you know what? I think I love this man. And he says he loves me, and I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look stupid. I want to make this work. I'm going to do whatever it is to make it work. That's another mistake, women, that we make. No matter how bad the situation, we stay in it because who knows why? We stay in it because, I don't know. Me, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still trying to figure out why I stayed there and tried to make it work, because I ended up finding a good neighborhood and a good, school district, a great part of town that I love living in, South Huntsville. Shout out to South Huntsville. And it was wonderful. He followed me because I was the one that found a place to live. He got an apartment in the same complex I was living in. I found the place where he was going to have his business. And he was crying all the time. And I'm okay with men being in touch with their feminine side, but doggone it, stop crying over everything. The situation was, he didn't have his kids with him. Well, that was another clue. When he told me that he was going to move from where he was to Alabama without his ex knowing and in the middle of the night, I should have thought, why is he running like that? But I didn't, because I believed all the lies all the things he had told me about his ex-wife. Ladies, another, please pay attention. Another red flag. If they were married before, usually by this age, we've been married. If they've been married before, please. And all they do is talk smack, about their ex, that takes two to make or break a marriage. It takes two to make or break a relationship. Yeah, sometimes one is crazier than the other, but at the end of the day, it took two to make it not work. And all these things he was telling me, I was like, wow, this woman is a real witch. She's just, oh, she's a devil. There were signs there because he would tell me, well, she says I'm this. And I was like, oh, that's terrible. And let me tell you, over time, everything comes out. Over time, the truth always comes out. My mother used to tell me that. Don't lie, because the truth's always going to come out. And for the 4.5 years that I was there with the individual, I found that it was true. She took the kids from me. He left. He made the decision to leave. So women, if your person you're with has kids and doesn't care for them, doesn't make them a priority, you do not want that man in your life, because he will not make you a priority. He will not make your kids a priority. Again, all these warnings and red flags, and I didn't see them. So we got in the relationship, and we were hanging out or whatever, and I helped him with his business. I got the people he needed in the doors, and but he used me. He used my personality. He just used me to get everything he wanted. Ladies, another sign is he might be very goal oriented, and he will do whatever he has to do to get what he wants. In my case, and I'm just going to be painfully honest, he never wanted to marry me. I get it now. And it hurt when I realized it, but then I thought, girl, I dodged a bullet. I praise God, because I know God's hand was in this. I'm sorry I'm about to get preachy, but I had to pray. And later on, I'm going to tell you how that relationship actually ended, thanks to my, at the time, 16-year-old daughter. So anyway, it was just sex. At the end of the day, a man will do whatever he has to for sex. And if you're a woman who has a strong sex drive, then you're okay with that. But if you're a Christian woman who's trying to do what's right by the Bible, it's a struggle. It's a struggle, and it's hard. But when you're dealing with someone who you think is going to be your husband, and you're going to get married, and at the end of the day, wrong is wrong. And I should have been stronger, but I didn't. And when a man doesn't respect your wishes, something's wrong. He's not going to respect you ever. I mean, if you set boundaries and that person does not respect the boundaries, whatever they are, they could be small boundaries, like this individual talked a lot, always wanted to be heard. So I like to listen, and he would sit on the couch. He'd come over because he was living like right across from me, and that was rough. He would come over and he would talk and talk and talk, just kind of let out all his problems. He'd do his crying, he'd do his complaining, he'd talk and talk. And I was like exhausted, falling asleep. But I would listen, because I thought, you know what, this man is going to be my husband one day, and that's just the right thing to do. And even if he were just a friend, I would have listened. So anyway, when it was my turn to talk or say whatever I wanted to say, he would say, oh, I'm exhausted, I have to go. So he would do that. And if we were on the phone, he'd yak. And I'd say, okay, well, you know what happened to me? Gee, I'm so tired. So women, if he doesn't want to listen if he doesn't care about what's going on in your world, that's another sign. Just let it go, because you're not going to change him. You're not going to say, you might be thinking, but I listen all the time. He's going to listen. He was just tired that day. Don't make excuses for their behavior. Don't do it. Oh my Lord, I made so many excuses for this man's behavior. Well, he doesn't yell at me. My ex, he's kind to me. He's kind to the children. He's a little annoying, but you know what? We're not perfect. We're not perfect. He's a little superficial, but you know what? That's okay. I'm not. It's okay. So I found myself doing that and making excuses to stay in the relationship, all the while trying to figure out how to get out of it. So another sign that you shouldn't be in a relationship is if you're constantly torn. I got to get out of this. That uneasiness, I had that from the beginning. And I should have acted on it. I should have packed up my U-Haul and drove my butt back to Chicago, but I didn't because why? I did what we women do. Well, I'm invested in this. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work. Screw that. There's nothing we can do to make it work. If it's not working, because both parties are trying, don't do it. Waste your time. Just don't do it. And then if you're a Christian woman and you're dating, see, I was dating someone who was Christian, but advice for women who are believers and you're dealing with a non-believer, first thing first, and I heard this on the radio today on Moody podcast, which I love Moody station, Moody Radio. They had the guy that I have to get the name of the book. He wrote a book, and one of the terms he uses is evangelidating, like evangelizing while you're dating. So I had that. I did that too. It doesn't work. What that means is you're a believer and you're evangelizing to this person you're dating and you want them to come to the Lord, but that's not how it is. It's not our job. So I learned for any of you ladies who are dating a non-believer that it's not our job. Our job as believers are to connect him with our church, have people, older men in the church, mentor him, have him give Bible studies, have him just get into the word. So just please remember that, because after my divorce, one of the things that really killed me was I felt so guilty because I was not able to make my husband surrender to the Lord. I was not able to make him a believer, and I felt like I failed in that regard. Now I get it. I get it now. But if there's anyone dating non-believers, please, it's not your job to have him baptized. It's not your job. It's your job to get him to where he needs to be, in the sense that, like I said, get him to a church where he can study there. Get him a mentor. But anyway, so I'm just going to leave it at that for tonight. But I want to talk about narcissistic behavior. Again, there are a lot of signs when you're dating a narcissist. Oh, my word. Man, oh man. And if you're like me, there's like a pattern. And I've learned a lot. And I think as women, we make that mistake so often. And one of the things is we want to change them, you know. And again, we make excuses for the behavior. So I'm going to let you go now because I'm exhausted and I'm really tired, as you can see. But anyway, so maybe I babbled on, but I hope I helped someone to open their eyes. And I made some stupid mistakes, and I will never make them again. I think that's why now I think men are wonderful and I love them and I enjoy looking at a handsome, well-groomed man. I do. I do. And then, if they have like an Irish brogue, that's even better. But anyway, I digress. So I think men are wonderful, and I still believe there are good men out there. There are, ladies, please don't give up. There are still good, wonderful men out there. Just be careful how you choose and look for these signs. Me personally, I have no desire to date for a while. This last individual just kind of, he fooled me so in a way that I'm so distrusting right now. Maybe I will trust again, but right now it's not going to happen. But like I said, ladies, don't give up. There's still wonderful men out there. I know there are. I know in my heart I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm just not interested right now. It terrifies me to the core. Anyway, I'm babbling on because I'm tired. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, we'll do this again. You have to know how it ended, because let me just tell you, I dodged a bullet, and if it wouldn't have been by prayer and supplication, suplicándole al Señor, I don't know where I would have been. So if you don't have a relationship with God, please get one, because that's the only way you're going to be at peace. I'm at peace now, and I'm healing, and I've learned a lot. So you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you're at. And yeah, we'll finish this conversation. Bye.